Hey, welcome back, everyone. Nolan Kelly here with Jovanni Vidal, here to break down another World Cup DFS slate for you. We just finished off Brazil, South Korea. Brazil moving on with a rout today, and Croatia beating Japan in penalties. And tomorrow we have a few big games on tap, or two big games on tap, including Morocco versus Spain and Portugal versus Switzerland. Both of these games should be pretty good. Spain heavy favorites, but entirely possible Morocco pulls an upset the way they're playing. Giovanni, what's going on?
Yeah, I thought not much. I thought the games today were the first one was good. The second one, it is what we expected, I guess.
Yeah. You got
And
to
then
say
tomorrow should be.
Brazil look real good. I don't like they get the easy
Yep.
out of the draw. I mean, pretty much Argentina or Netherlands standing in their way of a World Cup final. I wouldn't bet against them right now. All right, well, let's start things off. First off, shout out to our sponsor, No House Advantage. Thank you so much, guys, for being a sponsor of this show. $50 deposit bonus match. If you sign up over there, you can join in heavily overlaid contests for NFL, for NBA, and you get $50 for free for doing that. So we play over there a lot, and it's a great way to build your bankroll. As well, they do have props contests that you can parlay into. You can put together in a parlay that will get you up to 21 times a return. So if you're in a non-betting legal state, this is a great way to play versus the house. So check it out if you haven't yet, and appreciate them sponsoring this show and allowing us to bring this content to you. Let's get into the games as well. Morocco versus Spain. Spain minus 190. Morocco plus 600. Why don't we start off with the underdogs in Morocco? MAR. There we go. Okay. So we got Ashraf Hakimi. 1.94 value as well. Hakeem Ziyech, 8,000, 15.83 points. Both of those guys, I think you were pretty heavy on against last time they played against Canada, did really well. Anyone else that you're looking at on the Morocco side here?
Yeah, I think because of the overall salary of most of like the big targets from each team, I don't mind taking again some shots on Enesri up top. He's cheap enough. You need the goal, but uh, it'll give you some salary relief to pay up for as far as like in GPPs, or at least stack even the Spain side. That could be your one-off counter, and it won't cost you a lot. I do like Ziyech again. Um, in cash games and GPP, I don't think he will draw as much ownership because as from the floor and set piece men, you're going to get obviously Danny Olmo with a lot, and then you're going to get the other two uh, team set men. So Ziyech for me in GPPs, I do like him, and I like that his price is not low enough that people just start stacking him in for a
Right.
floor.
Right. The thing I think that's going to turn a lot of people off, or is that Spain just possesses the ball so much, it's really
Yep.
hard to rack up points when you're probably looking at 70% possession minimum in this game. So it's going to be tough. But if they can get a goal against the grain of play, and they're not leaving the pitch as well, which is another nice bonus. So some of these up top options, but and they are also contrarian options in large GPPs because they're not because people are going to be rushing to roster Spain and Portugal as well. So cool. Moving it on to the Spanish side, Danny Olmo looks like he'll probably get the start 9,400. Gavi $5,000. We've been rostering him like crazy. Really good value, but hasn't really returned value other than the very first game where he scored in that rout of Costa Rica. Jordi Alba 6,500. Alvaro Morata 87. Ferran Torres, who's left early the last two games, 8,200. And that's kind of where the top plays are on Spain. What are you doing with these guys? How many are you putting in your lineup, and who are your favorites?
Me personally, I don't think I'd have more than like two. Um, I understand if people want to stack like a 3-4 man one. I just have I think higher of Morocco than what the betting lines are. I actually like Morocco to take this game into extra time and maybe even penalties. But as far as Spain goes, Morata is the goal hunting option up top. He won't. I don't think he's going to draw as much ownership as he really should for being one of the top no floor goal hunting options, and does offer brace upside. because again, Cristiano Ronaldo's on this, and he always just on the name basis draws attention. So Morata, I'm fine with. In GPPs, I don't think you have to get there in cash. Danny Olmo does have that floor. They're going to have possession. He's going to be taking the majority of the sets. I cannot get to Ferran Torres' price because they have enough capable men off the bench like Asensio and Torres doesn't look like he has a set role. He has some shot volume, but his price tag is too high where you need some goal contribution. Morata's going to be taking the penalties and almost taking the set pieces, so I just can't get to Torres at that price. And Jordi Alba, I have no issues with, regardless of whether you have a Spain stack or not. He's got the defensive metrics, and then obviously the most active wing back from Spain on the offensive zone. He'll just deliver open play crosses, so that could compound with shot assists or even an assist.
Right. Second highest projected defender on the slate as well. Probably up there with Hakimi as the top option. So pretty, maybe not a pretty large gap, but a small gap between them and the rest. Anybody else you see here on the Spanish side? I don't really like Azpilicueta hasn't really done much when he's played. He is a cheap option and decent value, I guess. We have any him?
I don't think I'm going to get to it because when they push up offensively, it seems to be the majority is they're pushing Alba up, and then the back two will kind of start lingering to like a back three line. And
I feel like what you were saying with Kyle Walker the other day, right? Where he's like Luke Shaw's pushing up, and then Kyle Walker's sitting back.
Yeah, so obviously he can push up, and Walker did it like a few times, but for that, I'd rather go a little cheaper to one of the actual center backs who at least have the height and are attacking on crosses. So you have that punt option to get like a goal off of a corner kick. Now, I don't think both wingbacks are going to be pushing up against Morocco because they're very dangerous on the counter, and Ziyech has enough speed to break through the back line. So I think they'd keep a three back, whether they rotate with Alba or not. But Alba, historically, anytime he plays for Spain, he's always up there pushing up on the offense. So I think it would be Azpilicueta that sits back.
Right.
Also, I don't know if Azpilicueta runs the whole time because Daniel Carvajal might be available off the bench.
And he was subbed, which you don't really see.
Right.
In games, but usually it's forwards, midfielders getting subbed off, but occasionally whatever you'll see some fullbacks, and Azpilicueta left fairly early on in that game, if I'm not mistaken. Where was it? He was subbed off in the 50. No, yeah, at halftime. So there you go. That's probably a reason not to roster him for sure. So the only guys getting full run last time were Olmo. Up front, Olmo was the only one, as well as Pedri up front. But of course, Spain didn't really have actually, I guess they did have something to play for. So they've definitely been alternating their forwards up a lot. Quickly, let's just touch on Showdown. Give me your favorite captain option in this game and your favorite or what you're going to be doing with roster construction.
I think the most common construction you're going to see is a 4-2 or a 5-1. Based on the odds in favor of Spain. I like the like in a 20 max or even on the larger field. I like the going the at least 3 and stacking at least 3 of Morocco. Again, I think this game is going to go into extra time and possibly penalties, and I don't have as much interest in any of the keepers because I think that both teams will score in this game. So my favorite captain, I would go with Ziyech or Hakimi. I think either one's fine. They're going to be lower owned than what you're going to see for the Spain ones. If you want a captain from Spain, I think it has to be Dani Olmo or Alba. I don't think Alba is going to come off, barring any kind of injury. I don't think he's coming off, even if it goes to extra time, just because His direct backup has very lack of experience in big moments, so you want to keep your veteran out there.
And I think he's a contrarian captain play as well. Very heavily owned in the flex spot and not heavily owned in the captain. That would be my guess. So kind of like that as well. All right, let's move it on to the final game of the day, Portugal versus Switzerland. Some drama coming out of the Portuguese side of things. Cristiano Ronaldo is very unhappy that he was subbed off. Fernando Santos and him are getting into it a little bit. So, but it seems like maybe that situation is resolved. Portugal minus 115, Switzerland plus 340. Portugal, the more talented team on paper, but one game, anything can happen. What are you seeing on the Switzerland side? Let's start there. Xherdan Shaqiri, 7,700, had a solid game last game. Breel Embolo has been fairly invisible, but he did score, I believe, last game as well. Ruben Vargas, 4,900. Anyone else that you're looking at here on the Swiss side?
Yeah, from Switzerland, I think Widmer on the wing is fine again. He does have the upside of some kind of goal contribution.
And sorry, I didn't mean to paper over. Feel free to talk about Shaqiri and Embolo there if you like them. I'm sure you'll be pretty high on Shaqiri, right?
Yeah, I mean, Shaqiri has the set shares, and I'm not sure if in a game that goes into that has a chance to go into extra time, I don't know how long he can last. He has had history throughout his career with those hamstring issues, but he will take the penalties, and he has the direct sets while he's there. I think he's going to be very popular because he has a high floor, and he's under that like 7,500 range, so he would be probably the second or third floor piece that most people put into a lineup over Hakim Ziyech. But I have no issues with Breel Embolo because I don't think that Portugal's defense is all that great. I think that both teams will score in this. I do like the over. I think this is like the one game that could be a good game stacking option. You could see 3-1, 3-2 Portugal winning, or 2-2, and then let's see what happens in penalties. So
that's a good point. Game stacking as well with extra time in these matches. It's really hard to get guys are going to be on the field for the full 120. But if you can, and you have a sense of who that's going to be, you can get some real added bonus by game stacking in these situations come with the knockout stage going on.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it today with the Japan game because it was only 1-1, but you saw like Perisic and from Japan side Jonyu Ito, since they went the entire length of the game, including extra time, they were getting an extra 1, an extra 2, 3 drawn fouls, and then 4 or 5 extra crosses just from that extra 30-minute run.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but for Switzerland, that's about it. Ruben Vargas, I have no issues with as a GPP play or a one-off if you're targeting the heavy salary from Portugal. But it's mainly for me, it's Embolo or Widmer. Shaqiri's fine, but I think I'm going to have Ziyech instead of Shaqiri, like a pay up for the lower ownership.
Got it. Yeah, Vargas looks like you're playing on the left side, fairly offensive role. That's a pretty cheap price as well for that. So don't hate that. All right, let's move it over to the Portuguese side. Tough to maybe predict this lineup, or maybe not. You tell me. I just haven't been able to predict them recently. Bruno Fernandes, 9,200, 18 points. You get him really high on him. Cristiano Ronaldo's price tag, 7,800. He's going to draw a ton of ownership at there. Might even be a good option to fade him. Given I'm guessing he's going to be like 60% owned or something ridiculous. João Cancelo, Rafael Guerreiro, all really nice options. Projections don't like João Felix or William Carvalho very much. Pardon me. 3,200. Just a blank slate. Tell me what you're doing with this Portuguese side, because there's a lot of different ways to go.
Yeah, I think the prices for how they grade out, the prices seem a little high for just trying to find a goal hunting option. Bruno Fernandes, I'll have 100%. I see no reason not to. The set shares, the goal contributions in each match, I believe, whether it was assists. He didn't play the third match, but 2 assists in the first match and then 2 goals in the second match, or vice versa. But I think he should be around like 10-200, 10-300 type of price range, and that's not the case. So I'm fine, even though he's going to be like 65 plus owned. I'm fine with it. And then the way to get different off of Ronaldo is to go João Felix. I'm not high really on either of them. I do think that.
Do you think Fernando Santos is scared to pull him off the pitch though, knowing he's going to probably throw another hissy fit and maybe he like goes to full 90?
Yeah, I mean, I think he got pulled pretty much because there was no reason for him to be on there. I mean, they gave him his chance to try to score goals to keep him happy, but
yeah,
he had 2 point blank shots and like headed it wide once and then missed the shot on the other.
But not ruin his legacy fast enough. God, just never shuts up.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty pissed too that he got pulled off because I had bet him over 3.5 shots and he only had 2 at halftime, then got pulled. But
spoken like a true gambler. I like it.
Yeah. That's
João Felix, 7,900. That's the contrarian move, right? As you said.
Yeah, that's I mean, I think that you don't have to really worry about the ownership with the exception of Ronaldo because you cannot. Ideally, you'd want Fernandes in, and you can't fit Felix in with, say, someone from Spain, whether it's Morata or Alma. It's just not going to work. Now, you can go Felix and then drop down Morata or Alma for like Gavi, which I think is a pretty decent play. I mean, Gavi had coming off just because like for rotational pieces, it's not. I'd expect him to stay on. Mm-hmm. Now, so I think the splitting and going a little bit higher owned on João Felix over Ronaldo, both should last as long as they need to, unless they're up like 3-0, which I don't think will be the case. I don't think they're coming off the field, either of them. And it's Fernandes controlling the run up. So and he skipped Ronaldo a couple of times and just blatantly went to Felix, even when both of them were open. Yeah. So it's just goal hunting from either side. The wing backs, if Dalot starts, I think on the wing back I like João Cancelo, but if Cancelo starts on the left side, I like the discount that Rafael Guerreiro would bring.
Given their similar price points, I'm guessing that Guerreiro will get much less ownership because João Cancelo is just more well known and they have the higher upside, whereas the projection total is the same. So something to keep in mind for sure. I really like actually what you said. I think just generally on this 2-game slate, stacking this game and then going taking the Moroccan keeper whose name escapes me, hoping that Spain maybe gets a lot of shots that and then doesn't show up in the lineup. I think that's a viable strategy in GPPs. But okay, cool. Thoughts on showdown slates? What are you doing? Who are your favorite captain plays? I'm guessing Bruno Fernandes will be heavily involved in your captain selections. Fairly even 4-2s, 3-3s. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I like 3-3s. I think this is going to be a high scoring game over the 2.5 total, and I'm not really big on either of these keepers. Overall, on both like the 2 games, I don't really care too much about either of the keepers. I'm just going to play with whichever one fits in with the salary. But for a showdown for here, I think Bruno Fernandes, even if you went with 3 from Switzerland in the flex, that's fine. Fernandes, and then probably in the flex pair him with Felix over Ronaldo, just to get different. Because if you have Fernandes in the captain spot, it's gonna be really hard to get different, especially if you have Ronaldo there instead of Felix. And then from the Switzerland side, I do like in the flex Briel and Bolo, and then for showdown purposes, Shaqiri I would have in the flex because he has that floor.
Makes sense. All right, cool. We're gonna get out of here quickly. Give me your top 3 owned plays tomorrow. Bruno Fernandes.
Yep, Bruno Fernandes, Hakim Ziyech, and it would be split and probably be both of them of Akram Hakimi and Jordi Alba.
Jordi Alba, Akram Hakimi. I like it. Don't forget to sign up as well for Jovanni's projections. They are on the site, or you can click the link below as well in the description. We have a deal, 3 free days right now. So if you want to get them for tomorrow, or you could wait for the 2-game slates from the quarters or the semis. It's up to you, but feel free to check them out. Come on into the Discord and say hi, and also make sure to check back for starting lineups if you enter them today, because we have a pretty good idea who's starting, but we're not entirely sure. So that is going to do it for us. Thank you, everyone, for watching, as always, and we'll be back in a couple days to preview the quarterfinals. Man, there are some good games on the horizon, so I can't wait. You good, Jovanni?
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Yep.